All right. Bang, bang. Mid-show. August. What's great in August, Dave?
I got to tell you, it's Miller Lite.
Summertime Miller Lite, great tasting, less filling. Miller Lite, that's the debate that's been going on forever. A lot has changed over the years, but that is the great taste of Miller Lite is one thing that hasn't changed. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it is less filling. So what is the best thing about the original light beer? You got great tasting or less filling?
I mean, I don't know. They've been around since 1975, and it strips away everything you don't need in a beer. And it just sticks to what you want most. You want great taste, and you don't want it to fill you up, and that's what Miller Lite is. But if you want to get into the nuts and bolts, it's only 96 calories, Ed, and only 3.2 carbs per 12 grams of carbs per 12 ounces.
You got it. It's a light beer that tastes like beer. We've been having them all summer long. Ed's joining us from his vacation. I'm sure he's been having Miller Lite by the cooler out there. So, yeah, Miller Lite. You guys know it's the beer sponsor of this show. They've been with us for forever. And if they want to get Miller Lite, where do you find it, David?
You just got to go to MillerLite.com/midshow. Easy as that. Or, let's be honest, it's Miller Lite. You can find it anywhere that they sell beer just about.
Yep, this is Chicago. It's Chicago's beer. Any store that sells beer is going to have Miller Lite. And like you said, that MillerLite.com/redline to have it delivered right to your front door. So celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces, fewer calories and carbs than other premium beers. It is the beer of the summer. We're almost to football season. It goes well with football season. And with that, our little Hard Knocks recap featuring Ed and his bobbing and weaving from inside a casino. Ed's been sitting there just playing slots with the old ladies is what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm at the Blue Chip Casino right now. As you can see in the background, enjoying a Miller Lite. I was doing well, and then my dad sat down at the blackjack table next to me and started playing Wild Wild West rules, so I've never wanted him to be less my dad than I did a half hour ago.
That is something, as many people that listen to our show know, I go to the casino with my dad twice a year on Thanksgiving Day and on Christmas Day. It's a long-standing tradition that we've had since I've been 21. And he's done that to me before, and it's you'll be on a heater on the craps table, blackjack, doesn't matter, and your dad will get his ass kicked and come saddle up next to you just sniffing over your shoulder. How you doing? Get the fuck away from me. I'm doing great. There's a reason I haven't said a word to you in 45 minutes. So I'm pissed at your dad for you right now, Ed, on behalf of all degenerates.
Yeah, Dad just don't care. They play their own rules. The Gales just walked by me. Just came from a slot. They just don't care. They just don't care. So things went south. And then Dave iced me out here. Did Incubus watch Hard Knocks, Dave?
I didn't ask. I would imagine he did. He likes sports by the sounds of it.
Wait, Incubus is a guy? It's not like a three guy?
No, it's a full band, but we interviewed the lead singer and guitarist, Mike Einziger is his name.
Oh, okay.
Those cooling sounds. I was on Backstage. Go listen to that. That interview will drop probably this week. They were probably on a Madden soundtrack at one point, I'd imagine, and that's kind of what it looked like on Saturday. Right?
Yeah. So we talked yesterday on Tuesday's show, rather, about the preseason game. Did you have any prevailing thoughts that you wanted to get out there from that game specifically against Buffalo?
My main thought was when I heard that they were playing, I thought it was just going to be a tease, and Caleb was just going to hand it off 3 times, and they were going to pull the starters. That second play, because he handed it off the first play, that second play when he dropped back, or he was in shotgun, and it was an empty backfield, I genuinely had butterflies.
Yeah.
Genuinely had
because you knew he was passing it. You're like, all right, here we go.
Exactly, dude. I was like it was unreal, like how excited I was just to see this guy actually play, and it was great too because, like I said, I just didn't expect it. I mean, what more can you ask for, right? Like, couple absolute darts on the run. The offense, although they didn't score, they moved the ball very well. Got almost everyone involved. Obviously, I don't think Rome caught one, but he was involved, and obviously DJ and Cole. So it was just all around awesome. It was just sick. That's all I can say.
I think this is the most excited you've been.
He's smiling right now.
Since the draft.
He's smiling right now.
You're genuinely excited after 7 passes.
We watched that whole thing about how he was making fun of the backup running back for being Eeyore, Eddie's not Eeyore right now.
It's stunning.
Quarterbacks coach, who I want to talk about, by the way.
Yeah,
He's got
awesome.
that casino
really
glow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you just so the audience is completely clear? You are excited about the Bears, and you haven't you're not up big at the casino right now, right? Because we know you don't like to get excited or get over your skis or talk about how the Bears are going to be good until it'll probably be a year from now where you finally make a stance and be like, yeah, the Bears were pretty good last year.
No, it's not. I'm not up. In fact, I'm down. I told you. I blame my dad who just walked by and just flashed a bunch of chips at me. So I'm glad he's winning and I'm losing my ass because he doesn't know how to play blackjack. But no, that's not it at all. I was just genuinely excited, and I'm even more excited. Especially, I don't know. I saw a clip from Cole's doing a new show on CHGO, and I saw he said Caleb looked nervous. I caught that too. I don't know if you guys did. I thought he did as well, and he also looked like he was sucking eggs. So, this is him being pushed into the deep end, and maybe that's a stretch because it is a preseason game, although it's his first professional game. But to see that he can compete like that, under that type of pressure, we'll say, since it was his first go, was exciting. It was exciting all the way around.
I also love that you got that was in seven pass attempts. You kind of got the full Caleb Williams experience to a degree. You had the absolute dart to DJ Moore on 3rd and long for the first down. You had some improvisation with that little flip pass to DeAndre Swift for the big gain. Then you had him reading the defense and be like, I'm taking off scrambling for a first down. So everything that all the USC highlights that we've been jacked up about since the draft, we got a little appetizer of everything that makes him special in a quarter of football.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame game genuinely felt like a waste to watch. I think everyone was wow, it's a Thursday night. Maybe people didn't go to Lala because who knows. But I remember being shit, this was kind of circled on the calendar for no reason. Saturday afternoon was not that way at all. It was an awesome 30 minutes of Bears action.
Yeah, it was basically porn, and you had the
I describe it
when Caleb, and we talked about this too, but I blogged it. But Caleb, when he was in the post game describing what he saw in real time of the play where he scrambled, where he was I thought they were in single high. I thought I was going to have this guy off to the right. They switched post snap into a cover 2 man, so I knew I'd be able to take off and run. It was that felt different than what we've had. Mitch would never see that. Justin probably takes a sack. It's just, it does feel like he's already ahead of what we've been experiencing the last couple of years, and it's hard not to get excited.
Well, that's funny too, is that it's not his fault. I don't think anyone in Chicago has any necessary ill will towards Mitch, but him coming in after him, after Caleb and Josh Allen were out, was almost just a cherry on top.
Yeah,
right. It was oh my gosh, here's this guy who. Technically, back to the Bills, it's his 4th team, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his 3rd team, 4th try, was just wow, look where we were and look where we are just 20 minutes ago. So that was kind of a good cherry on top.
Yeah, I had forgotten that he went back to Buffalo. I was stunned to see him check into the game. I'm this guy, and then who ate his lunch? If we wanted to have another rookie moment, is our boy.
Yep.
Austin Booker, and then he got profiled quite a bit on Hard Knocks, probably a good 5-minute segment on him. He looked like a problem. Again, second string, all that, but he looks like a guy who's going to be
one
a player
thing in the edit I hated it about that was they acted like he was vying for a roster spot, which was he could have had a dog shit camp. He would have had to have an absolutely abysmal camp in every single facet to not make the team. That's just a nitpicky thing about Hard Knocks and the edit itself. But man, if they would have struck gold in the mid rounds at an area of need like that, Ed, that is so big in every way. Weren't they talking about signing Ngakoue off the streets again?
I think they still are.
And they probably need to.
I think they're in the market still for another defensive end, but having a guy that you can project being all right, it's 3rd and 12, go get the quarterback.
Pin your ears back and go.
Yeah, and who's to say he'll be successful at that, but as of right now,
I don't see like
that was a promising sign.
I watched that. I saw enough to like pretty definitively say that I don't think he'll be a liability at all. At worst, he'll be quality depth, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you stink, you're not putting up 2.5 sacks and in multiple tackles for loss, even in a preseason.
He was too good for the competition,
right?
So
that's exactly what I'm saying,
right? So
yes.
against a starting caliber tackle, it probably looks a little bit different, but he's at least good enough to be on the team for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a nitpick, Dave. I think that's fair criticism. Like, of course, what was he, 4th or 5th rounder? I can't remember.
Was he 4th?
He was 5th. He was 5th.
Of course, 5th rounders do get cut, but like if you're in Chicago, you know that guy's not getting cut.
Yeah.
I think that's just a fair criticism, not a nitpick at all. But yeah, like you like to see him dominate his competition, move up, and hopefully he's fit to go against the first stringers. So
yeah.
I'm sure they're going to tinker with him. Like he's going to get his opportunity. And that's how you get your opportunities. You beat the guy ahead of you, and that's all he could do.
Absolutely.
So, love to see it. Love to see it.
It's like we met him, and he's like a quiet, nice little kid, and he kind of had some trash talk in him in that game, and I liked it.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Like a little edge to him, like that switch. Aside from that, there was they had that little focus on Cole and the third stringer Reed, the quarterback, who actually kind of I did think that they focused too much on parents and they kind of made the parents look bad. It looked like a lot of the parents, because a lot of the focus is on the backups, that they were rooting against the team so long as their son was doing well. And I know that's not the case in their head. Of course they want their kid to do well, and especially if they're a fringe roster, if they're a fringe roster spot. But Reed's parents bitching about a hold and a penalty or whatever, and then I think it was Rome's mom. She was like, "Oh God," he was like, he threw it too late. I don't know.
Yeah,
take the parents out of it. Keep them out of there.
Yeah, human interest.
Unless it's Bajan's dad. That's the kind of guy I want to see. I want to see him be a meatball.
Yeah.
I didn't really get that vibe. I just thought they were rooting for their son. I don't think they were overly rooting for their son against the team though. They were just upset at a holding penalty, and then Rome's mom was like, "All right, he did the right thing. That's all you could do." So I didn't get that same vibe, Dave. But if you did, I guess
I'm just trying to
They seemed like any parent that would be in the crowd at a high school football game. Which I think is fine.
Right. I'm trying to. I enjoyed this episode exponentially more than the first episode. Maybe it was because there was actual quality. And by the way, I would watch an entire NFL football game with the cameras that HBO uses. Some of those shots with the drones was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Fucking amazing. They should do that live. I'm not even kidding when I say that. That's another side note. But I loved this episode. I will watch this episode again heading into the next one, and I'm so excited. Can you guys tell I'm excited?
You're geeked up. You're geeked up.
Something to root for.
Anything else? Any other bigger takeaways from Hard Knocks, Ed?
Yeah, so I agree with Dave. I like this episode more. It's still not exactly like the Bears porn I think we thought we were going to get, but I've come to draw back my expectations. I don't know if it's just because of a McCaskey issue, they want this to be all PG, buddy, Pixar or whatever, which is fine. You could still get some good football stuff in there, but something tells me that's the case. But I did think this episode was better. In particular, made a few notes. When I got a laugh when someone said, I forget who it was, but they're like, if you go 3 and out, and DJ Moore just shook his head we're not going 3 and out.
Yeah.
Remember that part?
Yeah, that was great. He was like, oh, what? Yeah, we're not going 3 and out.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that smirk being like, bullshit, we're not going 3 and out. Yeah.
3 and outs ain't happening with this offense.
Yeah.
I like that part. Another part I thought was just really interesting was when they sat down Caleb and talked to him about the refs.
Yeah.
How it takes 2.5 years to cycle through all the refs, and you're going to be here for a while, and they're here for a while. You want a good relationship? That was just something where it's if someone told you that on the street, you'd be like, oh, that's a good anecdote. That's a good nugget. That was a good nugget.
Yeah. That's something I either was not aware of or had never even thought of, is how often you get the same crew and all that.
Yeah,
so, definitely. I thought that was like pretty good like inside football information.
That's the kind of shit a football nerd just loves hearing. Like I used to hear stories about how Roger Clemens would take the crew chief out to like bars before, like a week before. He would know that he was gonna have him and shit like that just for gamesmanship. And I don't know. It's like I always kind of just assume that the Bears, due to their ownership, I know I bitch about owners quite a bit, don't really invest in that kind of information as much as other organizations do. But like to see how hands-on that Eberflus has been with Caleb as a defensive guy has been really cool to see. But to get like under a microscope, that kind of stuff, it's like, man, this is like, these guys really know what they're doing. And to see like polls being walked through the entire first team but like prior to the game starting, that was awesome. And just kind of he was just asking questions. Like I know he had the answers he wanted to hear, I'd assume, in his head, but he's like, all right, so talk to me about usage. Like he wanted to know like where their heads were at. And I thought that was like, you could see the like coach in him, even though he's a front office guy, kind of coming out. I think they kind of failed into something that might be special. And I'm trying not to let an HBO doctored product like cloud my brain too much, but it's oof.
I had another. This is like a hard ass take, but I just can't get into Velus Jones. Like that's a guy that you see him, you competing against the guy who's deferred his med school Wheeler as for like supposedly the last roster spot, and you watch him, he's back there in the kickoff returns, he muffs the first one. And it's just like, I am done. Now they're trying to make him a running back, make him like Percy Harvin. It's just like this guy just, and we're in year 3, and there was one little nugget on him where it's like, what does he have to do? He's like, well, he's got to really be in his playbook. And it's like, this guy is like now 27 years old. He does not have good hands. He's trying to they're trying to find something for him to do because now he's pushed so much further down the wide receiver depth chart. I don't think he adds enough value in the return game to warrant a roster spot. Like I'm kind of done with Eddie's boy, Velus Jones.
I mean, you've been done with him his rookie year.
Yeah,
so
right.
This is not breaking news, but this is actually, to your point, I think this is one of the best roster fights going right now. Okay, because Velus Jones has a legitimate shot to get cut.
Mm-hmm.
Legitimate shot to get cut. And then Wheeler, obviously they showed him. They laid some backstory here, and I think once you know who he's going up against, I think a lot of fans are going to advocate for that.
Yeah,
like that's kind of the beauty of Hard Knocks. That's kind of what we were asking for when it's like, all right, why are we showing Reed and Rippon so much?
Right.
Let's get to an actual interesting roster spot and a 3rd round pick versus I believe Wheeler was undrafted.
I'm pretty sure
he was.
Yeah, is interesting. You know, that's interesting. Even though. Granted, I know, like, we obviously, there's Roshan, there's DeAndre, there's Herbert, and even Travis Homer before those guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's still interesting to see a battle like that because Velus Jones has kind of been a thorn in the side and ever since we drafted him. So I'm with you, too. I thought that was interesting.
Now,
I don't blame you for being done.
On that exact roster battle, and total meathead thing, those dudes can both absolutely fly.
All right, so that I was gonna say that there's something, I don't know if it's the camera angle or what.
Oh
when
man,
they showed
that's
Wheeler,
that's what I'm talking about. Just the
Wheeler
down the
in
sideline,
practice looks like he's running 1,000 miles per hour.
like he looks like he's running a 3.26 40. But like I know that a good coaching staff and a good organization. And it's got to be one or the other. You're not keeping both of them because they're the same guys for all intents and purposes at this point. But like a Baltimore Ravens or a Kansas City Chiefs or a quality, consistent or Green Bay Packers even, they're getting 3 or 4 gadget touchdowns out of one of those guys over the course of a full season, you know? And the Bears haven't been able to really do that with a lot of guys. Obviously, Cohen a handful of years ago. But there is a place for one of them. I do know that. I know that in my head because I'm like, all right, you got an X amount of touchdowns to distribute over the course of 17 regular season games this year. Like you want, like, you know, hopefully 7+ out of your running back, out of your starting running back. You got, DJ 10, the rest of those guys maybe anywhere from 5 to 10, the receivers I'm talking about. Then how you get the gadget touchdowns, return touchdowns. You need that out of one of those guys. Who's going to provide it? I don't know. But I do know both those guys can fucking fly.
It does kind of feel like the writing's on the wall for Vilas in a sense, though. If you're already on your second position and, it's not like there wasn't an opening for a fourth wide receiver. Like, they drafted Tyler Scott after Vilas Jones, and they need that kind of fly guy who they could just sneak under the radar behind the big three. That very well could have been Vilas Jones, and they already not only moved his position, but they drafted a guy after him, and they might have been just going best available value. But the more I think about it, the more I'm saying that the writing could be on the wall.
Dude, I think everyone watching that show knows what's going on. I'm not sure Vilas Jones does. Where they're like, they're trying to make me into Percy Harvin. It's like, no, dude. They're trying to figure out if you can contribute anywhere because you can't do it as a wide receiver. So
I'd almost disagree with that. They talked about, and I don't know if this was fluff for the show or not, but they talked about how much they liked him this camp at the running back spot in one of those like hidden camera meetings.
But like how many? But then that was the moment where it's like he's got to be in his playbook. And it's like
I think that was in reference to him. You're not going to run him up the middle 12.
No, I think that's the opposite. Unless I misheard that. The thing was like we have to get him in his playbook so he can use him on something besides outside runs. There's probably only 5
plays that you're given to that type of player, and it's like you need a home run right here. Let's get him in open field and hope he takes it. That's how I took it.
I'm rooting for the doctor, and I thought he looked good on. I thought he looked good in the game too.
I kind of started checking out once.
Yeah, I think he got 2 scores, and he runs the ball hard, and I don't know. I like Wheeler. I feel like training the Hard Knocks always has like they create these guys that you're rooting for. I think he's that guy. The other unless anybody has anything else on that, I loved the. You got something?
No. I had 2 other takeaways. You go first.
I loved the Keenan Allen, Jaylon Johnson.
That was awesome.
Rivalry.
That was great. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of mine. That was awesome.
Yeah.
To see like a decorated pro like Keenan Allen, like really be like, man, this guy's fucking good was awesome and made me feel better about Jaylon Johnson. Obviously, we knew he was good, but to actually like see these intricacies, because like, listen, none of us are fucking DB experts and know exactly what happens in coverage and who's better in zone, who's better than man. To see that, just a good old fashioned one-on-one, you versus me. Was really cool.
So we had heard that Jaylon Johnson wasn't ever necessarily first one in, last one out. I don't know. Whispers have said that.
I had been told that.
And
a couple years
he
ago.
just got paid. I think it was 50-something million guaranteed. So you weren't quite sure how the guy that's been really good is going to be once he gets paid. If he is that lazy guy, it doesn't seem like that at all. There's another meathead thing when he was being asked about being neglected being in the top 100 players for the NFL. He looked yoked out of his skull, like he just looked jacked, and like him going 1-on-1, not allowing one of the best receivers in football to even secure a catch, let alone score on him. We got a dude. Got a dude.
They have a dude kind of at every level, I feel like, of the defense.
Yeah. I mean, maybe arguably not
at linebacker,
but it's a quality group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any final thoughts here, Ed?
No, yeah, I had that one-on-one was tremendous television, and then I have Roma Dunze. Just seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
A nice boy, that Roma Dunze, yeah.
Those little chubby cheeks, I just want to squeeze them. He's like
He's
a little
nice guy.
Cabbage Patch Kid.
Those 2 young kids, like just hanging out with them and asking them questions about themselves, and they're so starstruck they can't even speak.
Yeah.
Rome just seems like a nice guy. So I would say episode 2, definitely a step up on episode 1. I'm locked into this Vilas Wheeler player battle, and I think it was definitely a good bounce back.
Yeah,
for sure.
I also love how Rome and Caleb kind of communicate too, because he'd be like, "All right, this slant is hard," and they would show it, and he's like, "All right, well, do this," and like break across his face this way, and same thing. I think when Caleb threw that one away out of the back of the end zone, that was in Rome's general direction. Like they had a little sideline powwow about that. So I feel like, rookie quarterback, rookie wide receiver, that's going to be hard to get on the same page, but it feels like that's a good, strong, budding relationship.
and it kind of makes you appreciate preseason a little more.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
we
definitely.
haven't seen the Bears starters playing preseason in how long, right? We haven't seen them in forever. It feels like. I could be mistaken, unless if I'm wrong. But to see them get that action, like, that would have happened week 1 against Titans,
Yeah.
Like, work it out now. Like, you got to build this cohesion, and to have it happen now instead of when it actually means something is great. So that was nice, too. It kind of brought me back in on getting these guys a little bit of reps preseason.
Yeah. One last thing before we let you go. Caleb Williams, odds-on favorite on DraftKings to be the offensive rookie of the year, plus 140. How's that smell?
I mean, it smells great. It smells great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, they're battling it out with a shit ton of first-round QBs, the most ever, but I feel as good about our guys as anybody else. So
Yeah.
As we
I
say
like
that,
it.
the Vikings just announced that J.J. McCarthy is out for the year literally 2 minutes ago.
And I thought he looked pretty good.
He looked really fucking
Yeah.
good.
So
Really good.
That's a shame.
Dave, hand chief a tissue, please.
Yeah.
Well, we'd be remiss not to discuss the mush that is Barstool Chief to my right, Ed. I mean, he's been like leading the charge for J.J. McCarthy. Not that I also don't like J.J. McCarthy. Chief's been at the forefront of it, though, and now he's got a fucked up knee.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it stinks. Hello, Sam
Not
Darnold.
good. Not good.
Yeah, feel bad. I mean, it's like I'm not going to be rooting for J.J. McCarthy because he's in the division, so I don't really care. But I do think that he's a good quarterback, and I think the people being like the Brandon Walkers of the world being like he's a handoff merchant and he stinks. I think those people are morons.
So you're saying it's almost like your argument became exasperated by people molding and carving out certain things you didn't say, right?
I don't know what you're trying to get at here, Ed.
Yeah,
Well, I'm just saying.
Spit it
You're
out, Ed.
saying that your original take about J.J. McCarthy going in the top 10 and that you like him and you think he's a solid quarterback, and people have spun that into that's your guy and you wanted him as the best overall quarterback in this draft, has just taken out of control. You agree that that's a little insane. Like
because people always left out the other half of that equation, which is if I would want him with the Bears, if the Bears hired Harbaugh, and if Harbaugh said that was my guy, then I would roll with Harbaugh and have that be the combination. And then people are like, you like him better than Caleb, which was never the thing.
No, I know. That's me sticking up for you now and tossing you a life raft. So
yeah, I don't need the life raft.
If you want to toss me a life raft,
when I'm in the ocean, you just throw me fucking dumbbells. That's all you do. You're perpetuating a narrative, even trying to mask it as you're helping me. So what are you getting at here?
I'm a nice guy. I'm having Miller Lights at 1 p.m. in the casino, so I'm just being a nice guy. Don't sue me.
Ed, have you won any money?
No.
Okay.
No.
Have you won any money since I've asked you the last time?
No, I haven't even played anything. I was going to try to sneak a couple slot pulls here, but I've been locked in on Hard Knocks talk and being pissed at my dad.
Yeah. All right. All right, Ed. Well, we'll see you next week at Camp Barstool.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, are you
All right,
excited
see
to
you
sleep
guys.
in those bunks in that 90-degree heat, Ed?
Oh, yeah, I love the barracks. Boys being boys, farting, snoring, just laughing at misery. That's where I thrive, so I'm excited.
All right. All right, Ed.
All right, see you, boys.
Have a good
nice
vacation. We had a little gambling talk there with Ed, but we want to talk about the best gambling app there is. He's in a casino. If you're not in a casino, you can go to DraftKings. In a world of slot reels and blackjack deals comes the must-play event of the summer from DraftKings Casino, featuring non-stop action and an all-star cast of games, including A-Lister, Loki's Luck. This summer blockbuster is one you don't want to miss. We've been on it. I'm. This to me is gambling season is back. We did the horses today with Elio. Hit one there. Been betting soccer. Been hot there. Gonna check out this casino. Maybe once maybe I'm not sure or not. But
have you been hot betting the Cubs?
I'm 0-2 on the Cubs. We're leaving that out of the equation. I bet them again today. So no way they're gonna get swept. So I bet the Cubs again. So for this DraftKings casino, though, new players get a $100 instantly. Get $100 instantly in casino credits with just a $1 wager, and all players get a blockbuster bonus every week. So sign up with code MID MID, and grab your popcorn. It's showtime on DraftKings Casino. Make sure you're checking that out. That promo code MID, 100-1 return on that. Wager $1, get $100 back in bonus. Pretty great. Be sure to check them out. All right, and I was talking Bears with Ed.
Talking Bears with Ed.
And Hard Knocks.
You know that the excitement is palpable when that fucking curmudgeon is excited. And I think he was pissed that he was happy.
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
No.
He hates joy.
I hate joy too, but I enjoy when my teams are good.
Yeah, he's more comfortable being sad.
But
he doesn't know how to be. Because everything that's come out of Hard Knocks and then the game footage from the preseason game against Buffalo, it's like all positive.
Komet had a bad drop and DJ had a bad drop.
Yeah,
and
but he still put it on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Those guys will catch those balls.
Catch exactly. It's nothing to even talk about. It's not like it's some pandemic in the receiver room, in the skill room.
Plenty of time.
It's just like catch a fucking ball next time, and they will.
Here's one note, possibly.
Actually, I have a couple as well.
All right, so the whole who's the number one receiver thing, it's got to be DJ, right?
Yeah, it's DJ.
Okay, because I don't think there was a target of Keenan on those first two drives.
Yeah, DJ's.
Yeah, and like that one where they rolled out and it was like the little.
Keenan Allen is on the wrong side of 30 and everything.
To me, I close my eyes and it's like that is a professional wide receiver.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But I think he will be comfortable taking a back seat as WR2.
Yeah, maybe.
To the younger, more explosive guy,
and the guy.
You can see that, him being the guy. I don't think that will matter to him.
I think they're way different styles.
Right.
Yeah.
They complement each other.
They get open in different ways.
DJ Moore's like a running back, and Keenan Allen's like a tight end.
We should put that on a T-shirt. Just that when he catches the ball on that little drag route coming across, and then 9 out of 10 wide receivers just run that right out of bounds. He looks for contact and then runs a guy over and is like, I like football. I like football. That got me jacked.
Yeah. And that's a preseason game for a guy that just got paid 80-something.
He just wants to run people over.
He just wants to run people over, and
craves contact.
And if he would have stepped out of bounds, no one would have said a single word. But he just wanted. It was his first.
Most guys step out of bounds in the playoffs in that position.
Yeah.
DJ Moore in a preseason game lowers that shoulder. So I love that. I love that attitude. We talked about how last week, or maybe I think it was last week, where this Bears team might be a little bit boring. Personality wise, DJ Moore on the field is everything I want in a football player.
Yeah. Trash talks,
plays hard. He's always reliable, finds a way to get open. Great with contested balls too. I feel like if it's a jump ball situation, even if the DBs are bigger than him, I still am betting on DJ Moore. What were you said you got a couple.
So I want to know what the deal is with Roschon Johnson. We haven't heard his name at all.
He played in the first game.
I know, but
in the Hall of Fame game. Did he get a nick?
I don't. Not that I heard of, but at the same time, that was a guy you were counting on to give you something.
Yeah,
and no one's even saying a word about him. I'm not saying.
All right, so he was hurt. He's back in pads in practice today.
Okay,
so on Wednesday he's back in pads.
Okay, so I guess that's good. I thought it was kind of peculiar that we hadn't heard his name really mentioned at all. Obviously I missed that, so that's I'm wrong there, but and then I did think that the offensive line was
meh.
It was okay.
Yeah. Look, I think everybody knows that if you're going to say what's the weak spot of this team, it'd probably be interior offensive line. So specifically center and right guard.
Yeah,
I like Tevin Jenkins when he's healthy.
Yeah, when he's healthy. Yeah, and Wright had a holding penalty, which he didn't. Wright's obviously a very good right tackle.
Yep.
But it's you've seen the flashes out of because it was offensive line and defensive line. I would say were the two thin spots heading into camp. However, you've seen Gervon Dexter, you've seen Austin Booker.
Yep.
Kind of show flashes this fall where
he looks like he could be a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
You haven't really heard that from the offensive line. Would
no,
like to hear that.
Yeah.
You kind of heard the opposite, as a matter of fact, especially with Nate Davis.
I was wondering if it's probably a combination of things, but it felt like they were moving the pocket quite a bit for Caleb. And I wonder if that was to give him half field reads and then just to like shield against, because when you roll that guy out, then you're intentionally leaving that defensive end unblocked, and that means your tackle can slide in and help your guard on the right side. I wonder if that's going to be a heavier part of the playbook than maybe anticipated. But still basically 90% positives on the Bears as a whole.
I would say that was a very.
I'm gassed up.
Very productive. First preseason game from the ones. However, is it blasphemous to say that I'd like to see Caleb Williams throw a couple picks in the next game to see how he rebounds?
I think there will be time for that. I just want to.
Yeah, I'm lying when I say
he did have one like Rome kind of broke it up, but probably could have been a pick on that one play on the right side.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, there was when they were back in their own end, beginning of that drive. I think the next pass might have been the dart to DJ Moore.
Okay.
So, but overall, very, very good. A better Hard Knocks episode. I still didn't like.
I saw you say that. I totally disagree.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was very good.
Very good. All right. Well, Lance, what did you think? You said you thought it was better too, right?
I think we had a lot more like energy. You know what I mean? Seeing the guys like actually go and play and then be good.
And then
I don't know. Like it was way more exciting. A lot more entertainment value. A lot of different guys. Like Wheeler's like an actual. That's a really good story. The dude's gonna be a doctor now. He's just like gonna fight for the last spot on the Bears. Like that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like Keenan Allen, Jaylon Johnson in practice, seeing Jaylon Johnson be like a leader and kind of like be a trash talker like they're in the huddle, and he's like, "Hey, we're all hustling out here. Like offense, it's not your fault. We're kicking your ass." Like,
I love
like,
that.
That
too.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Like that, there was more juice for sure in this episode.
Yep. Yeah. No, there definitely was. I guess like a lot of the to your point, like the family time. I don't need a lot of that. You had the whole day. You had a Keenan Allen's, and they're like cute young families.
Yeah, definitely great.
And DJ Moore's kids are like adorable, but it's like, all right, like
get to the football.
Yeah, I'm here for football.
DJ Moore's daughter kind of reminded me of like DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah,
she's just kind of talking trash.
Yeah,
like, no Bills, only Bears.
Yeah,
so that was pretty sweet.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Where was that ice cream place? The Museum of Ice Cream.
Oh yeah, that was the
Chicago
ice cream hot dog did not look good.
It looked
like they put real relish on ice cream.
They did.
Yeah, that looked not about
awful.
That.
Yeah, and even DJ was like, nah. So,
but yeah, overall, I thought it was a lot better episode. A lot more. Like I could see how the Bears seemed very much more likable there, and kind of and still had some badass to them.
I guess like to me, the gold standard is always going to be like that Rex Ryan Jets one, and we're never going to get to that level with this group, I don't think. But I definitely enjoyed it more than episode 1. I thought, but I wasn't like, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. So
I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Okay. I would probably given the first one like a 3 or 4 out of 10.
Yeah, right. I would agree. So anything over 5, like I'm excited to watch it. Also, big day for us with cable too.
That was messed up.
So I actively, because I started it at like 8:20 and I thought I could just rewind it to the beginning, and I couldn't do that. I would have had to DVR it. Yeah. But I have cable.
So for everyone with cable, it aired live at 8 o'clock like it was supposed to. For whatever reason, the streaming service on Max, like it just wasn't working.
So that's what I tried to do. I went to the streaming service and I just tried to rewind it live, and I couldn't do it. So I had to wait till 10 to watch it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't on my phone. And but fun times ahead, Lance. On another note, we are all squared away for the fall at Northwestern. If we'd like to translate.
Oh yeah, saw that text. So let's go. What is it? What are we squared away for?
Well, as you guys know, we're friends with the Northwestern football program. I'm a diehard Northwestern football fan in basketball, and they're playing on the lake in front of. So it's going to be even less. It's going to be 12,500.
That is 12,500 is about what you get for St. Charles North versus St. Charles East.
That's exactly That's Wheaton South, Wheaton North number. It's going to be high school football. The athletic program is like, just let us know which games you guys want to come out to. We're going to do a fun day of content. Now, this is where we put a call to action out to the audience. If you have a boat that can get us from somewhere in Chicago, or even if you're already up in Evanston, I want to sailgate for a game. It may not be the best viewing experience, We may not be able, but I think it'll be cool to be at a Big Ten football game in a boat 50 feet from the action.
Let's just rent a canoe.
Or something but like if you have access to a watercraft of any kind so we can sailgate, we'll supply the Miller Lite. We'll supply a ticket for you if we need to go inside. If you're docked up at in Evanston somewhere or downtown, we could drive it all the way up the lake. What is that, like 10, 12 miles probably?
Mm-hmm.
And make it a day. But I am very excited about fall football this year.
I would love to have a boat day. Maybe we'd call our friends at Miller Lite, see if we can get that sailboat up there.
I think that's a great idea.
I'll send a text.
I think that's a great idea.
Were they playing? Miami, Ohio or something?
So they are going to be playing, I think it's Howard, Miami of Ohio, Duke. Duke's been good the last handful of years.
That picture that Lance just pulled up, that is spectacular.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not playing Ohio State there.
It looks, even with all the other lines on there, with the soccer lines, it looks so fucking high school.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's really, and it's 2 years of this, right?
2 years.
Yeah.
And only a handful of games each the next 2 years.
Dude,
and
I bet you
they play at Wrigley for the bigger conference games, but it's gonna.
I bet you doing field goals there is going to be for
advantage Northwestern because they're practicing on that field as we speak probably.
Yeah, the wind's going to be blowing off of there though.
And that blustery November.
Yeah. But November is in Wrigley though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They're moving. They can't host Ohio State there, obviously,
yeah.
or Oregon or Washington or any Big Ten school really. But I'm very excited. It is going to be such a cool atmosphere.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. What else you got, David?
Not a whole lot. You're
not into this White Sox-Yankees series?
No, I'm not. We recorded the rundown yesterday, and the first thing was 2 White Sox topics, and I think it might have been the first time in my life I've ever gone a full night into the next day. What time? We recorded that at 11:30 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I had zero clue they won by 10 runs. That's how grossed out they make me. Yeah, I don't know. Trade deadline's come and gone. The White Sox are historically awful. Nothing really changed at the deadline. Nothing will change this offseason. They talked about how it's not going to be time to spend money. Of course it's not. Why would you? Only Juan Soto's available. Who would want him on their roster? Even though he just went 3
beat you by himself.
Bombs against you in one game a night ago.
Yeah.
Why would you want him? I don't know. He stinks. I don't know. I don't got much on the baseball front though. You did mush the Cubs again.
Yeah, I bet on them again today. So they the series finale against Cleveland. Almost called them the Indians. I'm going to do that. I think for the.
I've fully transitioned.
Your Guardians now.
Yeah. I can do it without.
So this was a series where it's like, all right, it'd be great to get 2 out of 3. They were in both games. They probably should have definitely won the first game, and pissed it away. I will say. The umpiring in that series has been atrocious behind home plate, going both ways, like totally inconsistent.
Probably.
Just absolutely brutal. And it led, like, Shota got squeezed and then gave up 4 runs. Like, it should have been strike 3 end of the inning, and then that did fuck them. But, yeah, then they have this stretch, like this next 3 weeks, you would expect them to go on a bit of a run because – After the Guardians series, it's 3 against the Blue Jays, 3 against the Tigers, 3 against the Marlins, 3 against the Pirates, 3 against the Nationals, 3 more against the Pirates, and then the Yankees. So those are all teams that are like in 4th or 5th place in their division. You gotta probably win at an 80% clip, and then put yourself in contention for the stretch run in September. But they are on life support, to say the least. And I was giddy. Put a little future on them, plus 750, immediately lost 2 straight. So it's tough. Dansby's starting to hit, and PCA starting to hit, and then it's like the whole rest of the lineup just completely falls apart. So
completely shits the bed, huh? Who do we have on the bump tonight? They play at 5:40, so by the time this episode is aired, you will be getting a heavy dose of Jameson Taillon versus Alex Cobb, the journeyman, who has got a 7.71 ERA in 4.2 innings pitched this year.
Gotta be a win. Gotta be a win. It's gotta be.
Hold on. I'm looking now. And are the Cleveland Guardians a -145 favorite in this game tonight?
They are.
That's a weird number.
I don't.
Cobb versus Taillon?
Yeah, I got Cubs to win money line plus 120.
That's a weird little number right there.
Yeah.
Because it is hard to sweep teams, and Alex Cobb can kind of, he kind of stinks.
Right.
He's old.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm to the point now where it's like I'm ready to stop paying attention to the Cubs. Like I've gotten here, and then they drag me back in. I get there, and then they drag me back in, and now it's like we got soccer starting for real this weekend, college football right behind it, and then the NFL. And I don't want any negativity in my life. I just want to just move forward and focus on teams that might actually bring me some sort of joy.
But the Forest don't bring you joy.
I think they're going to be good this year.
How good are we talking?
12th out of 20.
Out of 20?
Yeah, so last year was 17th, which is barely above relegation. And I think they actually were kind of smart this offseason. They kept all their good guys.
No, I've heard this out of you before.
No, you haven't. No. They've always been the biggest dummies. They spend.
Lance just gave you a look.
I'm always optimistic about all my teams. That's kind of how I operate. But I've never been they're being smart. I've never said that. Usually they just spend a shitload of money, get in trouble for spending a shitload of money, and then are by the end of the year you're white knuckling the season trying not to get relegated. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I think they'll be comfortably in the middle of the table.
What about Notre Dame?
This is, you want to hear the
You've never said they're going to go undefeated but
they've gone undefeated a bunch when I've said that.
They've never gone undefeated.
Sure they have. I can only predict the regular season schedule. They've gone undefeated since I've been predicting the regular season schedule. They've gone undefeated 3 out of 10 times.
Well, they do play a historically easy schedule.
This year is bad, although this is, you want to hear the biggest meatball thing?
Yeah,
I got the college football video game,
and
I play it. I haven't played. I'm not super into it. I don't know what it is.
I don't like sport games.
That used to be my favorite game by a mile. But when it's the receivers aren't great. They have a couple guys from the transfer portal. Defensive line's not great. They have some.
Hold on.
Riley Leonard is fine.
Let me get this straight real quick. You're basing be off of the video game rights?
I know. It's the dumbest thing I've ever said. But when you look at the roster, you're just this roster's not. I don't think this year's team's as good as last year's team, with the exception of hopefully they have a better offense because they have a real coordinator, and Riley Leonard is hopefully pretty good, better than Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman was a big disappointment last year.
He was a pretty big disappointment. Yeah. Maybe he just needed to be in that little mid-market market.
Yeah, Wake Forest. Yeah. So we'll see. I think they open up August 31st with Texas A&M. I think that they will win that. And if they win
how's
that,
A&M supposed to be?
I think they're a top 25 team, but it's the first year of Elko.
I forgot that he's there.
Yeah, which I think Elko is awesome. I think he's a great coach, but it's going to take it always takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Texas A&M is until, in my head, they're 8-4 every year until they prove me otherwise. So
that's how I kind of feel about Notre Dame, though.
But that's incorrect. They've been to the playoffs 3 times since I've known you.
How many times have they won 8 games since they know me?
They had 1 year where they won, I think it was 2016. They won 4.
That was 2014, I think.
Maybe. They had one horrible year, and then they had a couple.
2014 was the year they lost to Northwestern.
They also had a stretch where they won 10 or more games 6 years in a row with Brian Kelly. So Notre Dame, most of the time, the narrative around Notre Dame is. I also saw this stat where it's Notre Dame's overrated. For the last 6 years, they've finished the season. 5 of the last 6 years, they've finished the season ranked higher than they were preseason. So they're, by definition, not
as someone
overrated.
Who detests that school and football program, I'd say they're properly rated every year.
Yeah, they're
the 10th best.
Yeah, they're a top 10 team, but there's a gap between them and the Georgias and Alabamas.
Definitely.
But now that Alabama might not be Alabama without Nick Saban, I think it does kind of open it up for everybody else. We'll see how they navigate all the NIL and all that. Yeah. They dropped the trailer for the Here Come the Irish, which is a Hard Knocks season-long documentary featuring. So I did filming for it, me. But I didn't make the trailer, so I wouldn't be surprised when I get cut out of that completely.
I hope you did. I hope you did.
Yeah. Well, I trimmed up my beard and everything for that shoot, and guess what I used, Dave?
What did you use?
I used Beard Guys. So step up your beard game, unleash your beast with Beard Guys. Hair on your face is different from hair on your body, and specific products are needed. Beard Guys has products that wash, hydrate, and help style your beard. That's something I need with my mustache. I feel like it gets like spider legs going every which way. So when I use Beard Guys, it looks a lot cleaner. Start your day off right with a 2-in-1 wash and tame, a wash and conditioner combo that is meant to cleanse and condition your beard. It has a great citrus scent, so especially if you use it on your mustache, you're just like, ooh, that smells good all day long. Hydrate the beard with some beard oil. The beard oil helps soft and moisturize the beard and skin. Lock in the beard style and style with some matte clay. This product has kaolin clay to help keep your beard in place and can be used for your hair as well. I've used it on my hair. Great hair. It's a great product for your hair. So whether you're a seasoned vet or a rookie beginning your bearded journey, Beard Guys is the brand for your beard. You can find Beard Guys at your local Walmart and Walgreens. Everybody's got one of those, I feel like, within a 5-mile radius of their house. So check out Walmart or Walgreens. Beard Guys No Flakes Beard Foam helps remove flakes. I feel like that's something that you might use if you grew it out a little bit. Make sure everything's looking right. Removes flakes and build up from the beard. This unique formula helps soften the beard and skin underneath. It has a biotin and I don't even know how to say this word. Salicylic acid to help promote healthy beard growth, which I could obviously use some of that, and reduce the amount of flaking found in the beard. Perfect for on the go. Follow Beard Guys. It's at Beard Guys with a Z at the end on Instagram for a chance to win exclusive beard care products and prizes. Stay tuned for your local beard events and connect with fellow bearded legends. Your best beard is just a follow away. You should be doing that, Dave. I feel like one of the prizes should be like you don't shave for like 3 months till the end of the bear season.
We can workshop.
I did have I tried to goad Eddie into a bet where I take the over on Bears wins over 9.5, and he takes the under. And if it's under, then I have to shave, highlighting my fat face. And if it's over, then he has to shave his. What do you think of that? You think he'll do it? That Eeyore?
Did you propose that?
I did propose, and he said we'll talk.
You'll talk after the season probably, because that's how it operates.
Yeah.
Are there any other bets you'd like to walk back now that we're on the topic of friendly bets against each other?
Do we have one?
Yeah, we do.
What is it?
You said that you think Ed could beat me in golf.
Yeah, I'll walk that back. I thought we talked about that.
I don't think we talked about it on the show.
So I played with Ed earlier this summer, and Ed's not. I said he was the worst golfer I've ever seen, but that day he was just hitting it like 150 straight as an arrow every time, and then he is, of the three of us, he's the best putter.
He can objectively putt a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know why or how, but he can.
I'd say he's quite good at it.
He's a pretty good putter.
So and like from range too. Like he'll sink a 25 footer and like I'm not even surprised at this point. So Ed's a better putter than you. He's a better putter than me. But the last time we played at that place in Flossmoor, he could not have been worse.
I think I gave myself like that was the first time I'd golfed all year. Mm-hmm. I gave myself like a 3-4. I was getting actually mad with how bad I was playing. I still think I would have beat him by 30 strokes.
Yeah. But you always get mad, but it's like you play once a year. So like, what are you getting mad about?
Because I expect more of myself.
But you shouldn't, because you're not good and you don't practice or play.
But I think
you stink, and you stink because you don't do any work.
I know, but I feel like I know I have the ability to make good shots, and I think that I can mentally make myself hit better shots more consistently even without the work, because I do it a handful of times around.
But you've never done it. That's what golf is. That's what every single person who's ever golfed says. You hit enough good ones to be like, if I just do this. Like
Eddie didn't hit enough good ones.
No. On that day, no. Definitely not. And really the time before that, the same thing. So, yes, now I would like to walk that back.
And I'm sure he's going to be trying to walk that back, but we are doing that, and I'm going to emasculate him.
Yeah. And I have to break 100. That's the other part of that.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, it can.
I mean, if we're playing like legit golf, there's no fucking way. But okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Definitely.
What was the bet there?
I forget that element.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
But I'll shoot under 100 for sure.
For sure.
I think so. What else we got? Oh, I'd like to. I think I'm declaring a truce with St. Louis Blues.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah. Why?
Because I've never really had like the hatred for them that I'm supposed to. Like they've just been kind of like it's almost like a Cubs versus White Sox thing where it's like they hate us way more than we hate them. Mm-hmm. And
Is that the whole fan base?
It's definitely me. Like, there's no one left in the Central that I'm like, I fucking hate these guys. Like, I don't like Nashville. Nashville's probably at the top of that list, but everyone else is just kind of,
Yeah.
Like, it's like we're too bad to really hate anybody. And by the time St. Louis was winning the Cup, the Hawks had already blown it up. But Edmonton hired Stan Bowman. How he got a job, I have no idea. And so they were, a game away from winning the Stanley Cup. They bring in Bowman because their GM retired. And St. Louis they have fucked them. They have completely fucked them. They sent 2 offer sheets to 2 young guys, and the Oilers are right up against the cap. And if they don't match, they lose those 2 guys, and then they're going to have a hard time replacing them too. So St. Louis sticking it to Stan Bowman as soon as he gets that job, that put a little smile on my face. So while the Blues and the Hawks are still not really competing for anything, I'd like to say thank you.
Yeah.
That
was nice of you guys.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Of the city of St. Louis.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It was a nice. I do think that there is something where, because offer sheets just don't really happen in the NHL, where it's a restricted free agent and like you offer them. If the team that has those free agents don't match, you get compensated. That was the other part of this. The 2 guys that they went after, if they had given them $1 more, the compensation goes up a whole round in the draft. So they're just like, we're going to go right up to the edge and like pay $1 under what we have to. And so, but that like, so instead of getting a first and a second, they're getting a second and a third, which are lottery tickets at best. So that to me, I enjoyed that quite a bit. And I do think people disrespect Stan and they think he's an idiot because they're like, there's no way he's going to be able to get out of this. He won't be able to navigate the cap because he clearly didn't do it. And I do think people genuinely don't like him because, like I said, offer sheets don't happen. The Sharks went after the Hawks with Hjalmarsson and Niemi. And it was like, they basically like, we're offering both of these guys, you're going to have to choose. And the Hawks obviously kept Hjalmarsson, and like that was the right move. But like the Hawks were up against it, and like I feel like of the offer sheets we've seen the last 10 years, a lot of them Stan has been on the wrong side of.
Yeah.
So people are targeting him, and rightfully so. So I did love that. But I think that's really it for this show.
I got one more thing.
All right.
The White Sox Dave, you were seen online.
Yeah,
that is the biggest middle finger I've ever seen.
I wanted to talk about this. So
that is a strong middle finger.
A few notes on this, okay? My thumb, when I flip someone off, is usually like this. I think it's more emphatic and it drives a point harder. I don't know why I tucked it for that particular picture, and I wish I could have redone it, but I couldn't put the toothpaste back in the tube, as our affable friend Ed likes to say. Second note, I think the shadow in between the ring finger and index finger makes the finger itself look longer.
That finger is as tall as a Sears tower.
Yeah, it looks big.
Yeah.
And the Apple
You have
Watch,
big hands?
I don't think so.
I think you got big hands for a 5'7" guy. For sure.
For my yeah, maybe big hands and big feet for a short guy. I don't know, but
it's a powerful finger.
It's a power middle finger right there. I wish that.
Look at that, Dave. Got to make some lucky girl really happy one day with that finger.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully,
someday.
I do wish the focus would be on the intended intent of the picture, which is me flipping off the White Sox, and not the length and girth of my hand and finger. But that's okay too.
Yeah, that's like one of my biggest weaknesses. I feel like I got a bad middle finger.
Let's see.
I never do it. It's like too skinny.
You tuck it weird. You're like thumbs on top.
Well, I mean, I could do it either way, but like I just have like no one is intimidated by this. If I give them the finger, they're like, I will just snap that like it's like a fucking pretzel rod. I don't give a shit.
I love just doing it right 2 inches from someone's face. It's like, dude, fuck off.
Cusack.
I should have done it to him. I'm surprised he didn't do it to me. Actually, AJ did ask me that.
Ask you what?
If me getting Cusack's face was the reason the White Sox went to shit afterwards. And I said, you know what? Maybe.
They won that game.
They won that game, but that was like, all right, you get this one, nothing else after.
You know what, Dave? I don't think you need to wear that.
And then I did ask AJ, now that we are best friends, if he is actually going to be the White Sox manager, and he said he sure hopes not, or something along the lines like that.
Hopes not?
Hopes not. He was joking, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would take it in an instant.
No chance it's Grady Sizemore long term?
You know, people are like, obviously the White Sox are easy to shit on right now and should be shit on for a lot of things that they do.
Though.
And the graphics going around that Grady Sizemore took a internship with it might have been, was it the
Padres?
Diamondbacks? I don't know.
Somebody out west. Yeah.
I think it was the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
For $15 an hour last year. That means absolutely nothing to me. Grady Sizemore is a baseball guy. I've never said a word to him, but like,
I loved him as a player.
He was awesome.
When he was on Cleveland.
On the Tribe, yeah. He was really good.
Yeah.
For a stretch.
He was like cool.
Yeah, he was like,
yeah.
I don't care that he doesn't have any experience. I'm not saying I would hire him by any means for next year, but like, he's a guy that I could see one day being a very good big league manager just based off what he was like as a player. And I'm sure the players in the dugout right now enjoy him calling the shots more than Pedro Griffel, who just, I'm sure there was no respect for that guy whatsoever. So, but I don't know. Grady Sizemore, AJ Pierzynski, what does it matter until ownership changes? Nothing.
Nothing.
It doesn't.
Nothing.
What did you think about middle finger, Lance?
I mean, I do think that's a powerful middle finger. That, like, when I saw it, I was just like, I don't know. It's just, it was shocking.
It was
I
weird
was, like,
angle.
Speechless. I was like,
I think it's the shadow.
Yeah, it's
like down.
It's like a really, really long. We'll pull it up again.
Let's see, you're a 6'6". Let's see your middle finger.
Yeah, so like,
I mean, your thumb is longer than your middle finger.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Yeah, you got long, fucking weird.
Yeah.
Man, I should teach you to throw a circle change, Lance.
Yeah, see, my dad always gives me shit. And say that's just a big, like, you have just huge fingers compared to the palm.
I look like I do manual labor.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that.
Look at those meaty fucking. Those are.
I don't think I've ever seen
pound steel
that thick of arm hair on the underside of someone's arm.
It's not that bad.
I mean, look at that picture, dude. Like, I got nothing underneath there.
I don't know. Angles.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the mid show. We'll be live from Wisconsin next week, enjoying some Miller Lights.
Poolside, or probably
Lakeside. Lakeside, yeah.
I did hear that they are going to have a blob. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we talked about it. We definitely talked about it somewhere.
Yeah.
Pre-swim.
Yeah.
Pre-swim.
Yeah.